Alrighty, welcome back. This is going to be the third installment of this particular series in videos. It's going to be the Fast and Furious. In video one, we started off with just a white foam shipping container. You can get these at most clinics, or when you go see your doctor or something, or the pharmacy or something, ask for one of these because they'll give them to you. Especially in my area, they can't throw them away because it is a petroleum product. Anyway, as you remember, we're going to use the bottom of this box as the top of our display. So here it is, flipped over. This is going to be my finished product. I chose 1/6 scale brick because I love doing brick, and it's going to be a debris field. So as you remember from video number 2, we were cutting rectangles. And a key to cutting brick, especially any size, start somewhere, get 5 or 6 or 8 brick done, stop, rotate your product, your base, and start somewhere else, because you don't want to get into a pattern, because this is supposed to be really random piles. And again, there's going to be some parts of the debris field that will fall into place and still maintain some kind of a brick pattern. But mostly, it's just going to be just all over the place. It's going to be broken. It's going to be at every angle you can imagine. Add some trim brick. Add some brick other than the main stuff you're doing. Trim work. Most of these buildings will have some kind of a stone masonry brick. You have some heavier gauge trim and some support brick. Maybe even stone, cut stone. Anyway, but this is my finished product, and you can leave it as tall as you want, or you can cut it down and add it and glue it onto a wooden display base. Get you a nice wooden base that's routed and stained or painted. I'm leaving this one tall because I really want to add maybe something here and some kind of logo or insignia. If I'm doing a Russian front, I want to add a German eagle, maybe with a Russian front pin, ribbon, maybe an iron cross. But each, and the cool thing about this is you can do something on each side, maybe an iron cross and some badges, some combat clasp or something. Anyway. What I did is I primed it with a Kills 2 primer. I use a Kills 2 primer, and it's an acrylic house primer. And the reason why I like using this, because it dries really hard. It's a primer sealer. And all I do is add just a little bit of black to it to give it a neutral gray, like a battleship gray color. And my first coat, when I put on here, is going to be diluted 40%. So I'm going to add 40% water, room temperature water, to this and mix it up, so it's going to be really, really viscous. What that's going to do is going to allow it to soak in, because white foam is very porous, especially after you cut it and sand it and everything. So what you want to do is you want to get a natural bristle brush, and I got one here. I use a standard size brush, and this is a natural bristle brush, because what you want to do is that first coat's going to go on so liberally. I mean, you're basically going to slop it on there and dab it in there. And this is the dabbing motion. Of course, my daughter calls dabbing a dance. So anyway, but what you're going to do is just jam it in there. And I like the bristles on this because they're so uneven and they're natural. It's going to get in all those crevices. So what you're going to do is load up that paintbrush and just dab it in there. I mean, just liberally, because, it's going to pool up. You're going to spread it around. The cool thing is the styrofoam's going to soak it in. So if you get a lot on there, move it around, it's going to soak in. It's going to soak in really nice, especially it helps fill in a lot of the voids in it, because this white styrofoam is definitely very, very large cell. Plus, this white styrofoam really helps with the natural look, especially when you scrape it down with the back of your blade or something. It really adds a natural texture, especially when you're doing rubble or dirt or anything natural, or even very porous, very rough. It really helps you out, so you don't have to use a lot of Sculpt-A-Mold or any kind of heavy mud. And then, like I said, this thing's almost ready to paint. It's almost ready to paint. I'm going to add some. I would like to add one of my. I've got a 10 Kubel wagon, so I'm going to add a Kubel tire, maybe an old jerry can. I'm going to add some rusty wire. I'm going to add maybe a light pole. something else, another feature on this, so it won't be so flat. But either way, I mean, it's a really quick diorama. And again, this particular Fast and Furious diorama is easy. It's fun to make, and you can do 2 or 3 at a time. So when you're working on this and you get tired of working on this, move it aside, get you another one, start you another one. And again, they're very easy. You can do them in almost any scale, 1/72 on up to 1/6 scale. So anyway, but again, if you have any comments, criticisms, anything, we're sequestered here. So I'm going to do this all week. So it's, I guess, one of the only benefits. And again, if you guys are in some of the hardest hit areas with this whole virus thing, again, stay safe. Don't do anything. Don't go out or anything. Here, it's basically voluntary. So most of the restaurants have shut down. So gives me time in the shop, and it gives me time to share with you guys, and it just helps make our time so less mundane. Anyway, definitely, I'd love to hear your comments, and if you have any better ideas on how to do this, definitely chime in. If you have any ways that can improve this stuff, definitely chime in. We're always wanting to hear from you guys. And again, looking for those like buttons, okay?